Hello, everyone. Pastor Sean here with DCP. And I wanted to do this week's video on a little bit of politics. Wasn't originally going to talk about my views on politics and what a Christian's view is on especially the left, but I saw on Facebook that Dave Rubin, who's a channel that I'm subscribed to for the Rubin Report, is coming down to the U of A tonight to either do a talk or hang out or something. And so after watching one of his direct messages videos, well, his newest one, that I thought, well, maybe I should do a video on this and talk a little bit about politics. Because it's not something that's talked about or rarely talked about in the charismatic church or in the Calvary church. I think for the most part, in all of the 5 or 6 different churches I've been a part of for the last 8 years, or 7 years, one of them, it's been since 2009, it's 2017, 8 years, that politics shouldn't really be talked about in church. It's kind of the thing like at the dinner table, like that saying where you shouldn't talk about politics and shouldn't talk about religions, because it can be a thing that can really hurt somebody's feelings. So, but I figured I should talk about what I personally feel about politics, coming from a standpoint of a Christian. And when it comes to Christianity, I know it's going to throw a couple of different people off, but you know, I have different things. Like I have believe in a little bit of Arminianism, believe in a little bit of Calvin. I would mostly consider myself a mix of Red Letter and Calvary for my theology, at least for as far as I know. But anyways, just to throw that in there really quick. So if you know me personally, you know that I am personally what I feel when it comes to politics, even though I do feel politics is an interchangeable subject, is that if you can categorize this, I would be I'd be like half socialist, half conservative, where I'd be, I guess, to put it in terms, I would be I guess you could say a conservative anarchist, which I don't even know if that term even makes sense, but, or a social libertarian. But I do side with, when it comes to listening to politics or watching the news or whatnot, I mostly follow people that are conservatives or Republicans, like, for example, Tucker Carlson on Fox News. I watch him, Gavin McInnes, Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro, different people of different things. I even watch a couple of different ones from the left, like Dave Rubin, who I really like, and also Cameron from Libertarian Socialist Rants, and things like that. I try to keep an open view set. So, but when it comes to things of God and the Bible, I do feel that even though you can have your own personal beliefs, and politics is highly important right now, I guess I'll just go ahead and start off by saying that I actually side with the right most of the time. Even though I would also consider myself a self-hating liberal, but so I do tend to go to the route of basically whatever it is that everyone's going for, and it feels like it's a lie, where nothing's being backed up, there's not much evidence for anything, and it's mostly being based off your feelings and not doing research and not being able to discuss, then I'm against it. I'm rebelling against that, and that is what I consider the extreme leftist agenda. So, even though I do think it's a good thing that if you're a Christian, to just go ahead and keep those things to yourself. Depending though, it depends. Because if you're called to do something like these types of things, then that's what it is. But I would say, like I was telling my friend this a couple months ago, that let's just say that I'm a Donald Trump supporter and I'm running a church. And I'm an extremely alt-right person. And during one of the services that I put on, if I'm the elder pastor, you know, the one who's running the church, the head of the deacons and the priesthood, then and I get mad or say I'm not comfortable if somebody comes in who is a man dressed as a woman, like, or someone who considers themselves a transvestite, or even anyone who thinks it's being counterculture or whatever. And I tell them, like, well, you're wrong. Here's why. Like, here's all the reasons. You're not going to affect my church. Get out of here. That's not right. I don't feel that's right, because God is for everybody. Jesus died for everybody. I mean, I personally believe that there's the elect, there's most of everybody else, then there's the reprobates. But Jesus died for everybody, so we need to preach the Lord's word to everyone. They're the Christians that keep the commandments and walk with a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Then there's, all the people that don't. But, thinking about the clash in Berkeley that happened a couple days ago between the Trump supporters, the alt-right guys, which the Gavin McInnes and Lauren Southern were a part of, going against these supposed anarchists. I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to go too deep into this. I don't want to push too much detail because I don't want anybody getting mad watching this. But thinking about it, it's like, well, Jesus died for everybody that was there. Of every creed, color, class, whatever religion that you believe in. If you don't, if you're an atheist or non-practicing theist, whatever it is, or even whatever political side, actually. So for the people that were the anarchists, throwing bricks at people in Berkeley and whatnot, and then, clashing with the Trump supporters and the alt-right thing, because that's what's been going on in the news lately. Jesus died for both of these sects of people. I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. I personally feel that one is definitely right and one is definitely wrong for the most part, about 80%. For my personal feelings, but at the same time, Jesus still died for everybody. And that it even says in the book of Matthew that we are to love our enemies, even if they consider us our enemies or we consider them our enemies. And Jesus says, what's the point in doing anything nice for anybody that's like that you consider your friend? Because even the pagans do that. If he gets, slapped in the face, offer the other cheek. If the Roman officer commands you to walk 1 mile, walk 2 with his stuff. And it's not like a thing like judge not lest ye be judged thing. I'm not saying that. It's just that politics is getting so ridiculous now, and I know that there are high up people pushing this agenda of all these fights and whatnot, and so, but I'm just saying that I guess what I'm trying to say is when it comes to politics, it should stay out of the church. Because, like I said earlier, Jesus died for everybody. So that's just my opinions.